Hey lovelies, thanks for joining me for the best of beauty in 2022. I am excited to share with you all of my favorite things from this year. I thought this would be a good way to get the year started. I am filming this at the very end of December, but I'm sure by the time this goes up, it'll be the tip of January. So happy new year to all of you. I hope it has started off well. I think that this is going to be a fun one to go through. Now, I do want to say that I was very curated in my picks. Now, I know that in previous years I did like a top 20 of 2020, and I don't think I did 21 things last year. I'm honestly not sure. I might do like a revisit. I think I might revisit my favorites from the year before as well, but I just really wanted to bring out the things that truly brought me joy, things that have really made a difference in my makeup routine, the things that stand out. So if there's something that I've talked about loving before and it's not in this list, it doesn't mean that I don't love it. I just had to stop somewhere. You know what I mean? And I was kind of like, do I want to rank these? And that was just way too much pressure. I'm not putting that pressure on myself this year. That is going to be one of the things this year. 2023 needs to be a no pressure, chill vibe. So what I decided I would do is go through in the order of appearance, or at least as close to it as I can get. So I'm really just pulling these out, mentioning them in the order that they came into my life. Like I said, as close to it as possible. But if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on my channel, I strive to keep beauty real. Real honest, real relatable, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, don't forget to click subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. We are gonna roll right into this. I do have to say, I did not use a single one of these things. Today for my makeup. I actually filmed a reel just kind of going over this eye look. I've been enjoying these little like dynamic duo combos, so if you want to see what I did to get this lovely smoky eye, you can go ahead and head over to my Instagram at Keep Beauty Real. But I didn't use a single one of my favorites. So I apologize for that. I guess maybe I should have like thrown a couple of these on, but it's just not the way it went. But if you aren't new to my channel, you will have heard these talked about time and time again. So let's roll right in. So I know that I bought this first one in the Black Friday sales of 2021. So I'm not sure if I maybe tried it in December, but I went from having one to now owning 4. And I know that like shortly into the winter of this past year, like we're in winter now, sadly, but you know what I mean? Like January, I just quickly fell in love with these. And so I had to put them in here, even though I maybe technically tried it in December. But these are the Oden's Eye Alva Cream lip stains. So like I said, I have 4 of the shades. I think the only ones that I don't have are the more like red ones. And I was very tempted to pick those up. I was very tempted to pick those up in the last sale. And I was like, I'm not gonna do an Oden's Eye order for just like 2 lip items. So I held off. But anyway, these are so nice because they are exactly what they say. They're a creamy product that is more of like a lip stain with a bit of a gloss. Yes, the gloss wears off, but it just looks so beautiful. I will go ahead and swatch one of these for you. Let's see. Let's do this one, Sweet Tulip. So the thing that I like about these is, first of all, they smell so good. They smell kind of fruity. And I have featured these, so I'm not gonna like go into these too much. I think they were in my favorite lip products, something like that. But you can see that beautiful like sheen, and then eventually that sheen does die down, but you're left with a bit of color on your lips. These are not drying at all. I know that the company also has matte lip creams, matte lip stains. I have not tried those. I'm not usually a matte lip wearer, but these are so lovely. They're just easy to whisk on, but they still have beautiful saturated color. So I love them. If you haven't given them a try and you're looking for something that gives you that little bit of gloss but a lot of color, and these don't like slip slide all over the place. They're perfect. I definitely recommend them, which is why they're in my favorites. Okay, this next one is the only skincare item I have in this entire list. It's the only one because, as you probably know, it was my goal to not really buy much skincare, but this one came out and I purchased it, I think in the spring Sephora sale, and I love it. I don't have it right now. I actually have a box of it somewhere and I don't know where it is, but I'm currently using a different one that I've also purchased in the sale. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But this is definitely my favorite, hands down, vitamin C serum. And this is the Pharmacy Waterless Vitamin C Serum. I love this one because it's the texture for me. The texture is more of like a gel-like serum as opposed to the Paula's Choice C15 Super Booster that I use, which is runny. And that's the one that I'm using right now. I had a bottle of it and I really need to use the Paula's Choice while it's still good, of course. And I love that. It's very effective. They're both very effective, but the Paula's Choice one is just harder to put on. And so when I tried the Pharmacy one, I just immediately fell in love with it. It is so easy to spread over the skin. It is gentle enough that it doesn't irritate my skin, but I can definitely tell that it's brightening. You know, I have pigmentation issues. Like anytime that I get a breakout, it sticks around forever. I have some light melasma on my cheeks especially when I'm in the sun. So I just am constantly trying to be good about using my vitamin C, and I love this one. My skin just really tends to agree with the pharmacy products a lot, and I understand that this isn't the least expensive vitamin C on the market, but it certainly isn't the most expensive one either, and for me, it's just the ease of application that makes it a joy to use. So I definitely fell in love with this one. Like I said, I already have a backup ready to go once I'm done with my C15, and I've really enjoyed it, and honestly, I don't see myself like needing to try another one anytime soon. She is near and dear to my heart. We will be together for a very long time. This might be like a social faux pas. I was gonna put these in at the beginning as an honorable mention, but I'm just putting it in here partially because I forgot to do it at the beginning. My shades with Pretties for Your Face. I love these because I got to help create them. They are, I think, beautiful. So we of course have Lovelies and we have Lovesbind, and these I got to create, I believe it was like late winter perhaps, and I just love these shades. I love wearing them, but what has made me so happy is hearing how much all of you are enjoying them. And it was very, very important to me, the texture of these shadows. Yes, the colors were important, but the textures, I wanted a very smooth, beautiful shadow, and I think we hit it out of the park on this, and I just love hearing everybody say how much they like them, especially when they don't know that I'm looking. Like I was on the Pretties for Your Face website and I saw someone talking about Lovesbind, and they were like, this is just the perfect combination between grungy and like shiny and beautiful or something like that. And I was like, oh my God, I love that. And then, you know, sometimes when I'm like creeping through the Instagram posts, I just love it. So again, we have Lovesbind on the bottom. That was named after Jeremy. And then this one on the top is Lovelies, named after all of you. So I really love these. I love using them. I love that all of you have loved them. There's love going all around, and we need more of that in the world. So I of course had to throw these in there. Another find from early in the year is the Larifay brushes. Now I picked up the Royal Blue set. Oh, this could have been a Black Friday deal. I honestly can't remember, but my friend Alana from Altogether Alana was talking about these brushes, and I was like, I really need to try these. I think that Alana and I have very similar taste in a lot of ways, so when she was saying that she loved these brushes, I was like, well, I have to give these a try. And these Royal Blue ones are just so beautiful. And then I have since tried several of the face brushes. I love the F09. This has been a go-to foundation brush for me recently. They're just so good, and I don't hear enough people talk about this brand, so I know that I keep like being like, hey, Larifay, but honestly, they're great. They're a great synthetic brush. I've really had great customer service. I'm not affiliated in any way, so for me, it's just the fact that I love them, and I think that more people should get a chance to try them. So, by the way, I will have all of the products that I'm talking about linked down below if you do want to check any of these out. These are a good one. Okay, and here we move into the first of only two eyeshadow palettes that I put in here, which I really think is a good amount. I was really trying to go for the ones that really stood out to me in the year. And the first one was definitely the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. Wow, you probably just saw the chaos that is my vanity right now. This palette, I mean, first of all, the color story, you know the color story is gonna get me. We of course have beautiful creams in here, which you know that I love. And I just love the texture and dimension of these shadows. They are just beautiful. The mattes are gorgeous. Honestly, if Patrick came out with an all matte palette, I would probably lean towards getting it. I really would, because I would love to have some of these mattes to pair with some of my fun indie singles. These are beautiful. The shimmers are gorgeous, and I like the texture that they have, but they are one of those textures that is a little bit more difficult to pick up on a brush, and I'm not usually team finger. I do make it work with a brush in these. I haven't necessarily had a problem with it. It does just take a little bit more finesse. But the color story is beautiful. I'm really looking forward to seeing more palettes from this brand, and of course, the packaging is gorgeous too. It's super reflective and now very fingerprinty, but it is very beautiful, and I've had a lot of fun working with this one. It's like a standby, a grab and go, like don't have to think about it, so I've really enjoyed it. This is another product that I've droned on and on about, but let's talk about the PhD Hybrid Lip Oil by Haus Labs. So I first got, as you can see, this is the original packaging from before the rebrand. So when Haus Labs was Haus Laboratories, I bought one of these like right before they did the rebrand, when they were discounting everything on Amazon. And I was like, all right, so I bought a slew of things. I'll be honest, I fell in love with quite a few of those things. This was definitely at the tippy top of that list. So nothing has changed about these. They really basically just have a different packaging now. They just have a silver cap. They're gorgeous. I have all but the clear shade. And I bought backups. I bought backups too. It's just such an easy swipe and go, get out the door. You got a little bit of color. These actually are very similar to the Dior lip oils, like in formula. This one is very similar to, is it the coral shade from Dior? Like, they're almost exact dupes, and these are less expensive, even without the discount that I got when I got them on Amazon, because at that point it was 50% off. I don't know what the heck is going on with with what's left over on Amazon, because some of the things are like mega deal and some of them are like full price. I don't know what's going on, but if you can snag these, I don't think that these are on Amazon anymore, so you'd have to get them through House Labs now, but it's definitely worth it. And I'm sure that the brand will have sales from now and then, and of course they're at Sephora as well, so if you can get a deal on them, they're an even better deal. That's how that works. Well, I'm sure you all know that, but I do really love these. I've given them out as gifts just because I think that everyone could use a good lip oil, and this is my favorite so far. All right, we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going with the House Labs. I just figured I'd stick all of these branded things together. It isn't necessarily in the order of appearance, but when the brand did the rebrand, the new launch, I did buy quite a few things. But for me, the standout product in that entire haul was the Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer. This is just so good. Now I will say the previous bronzer from before the rebrand, I loved it. I loved how silky smooth it was. It was a beautiful texture. It went on the face really nicely. This is just even better. It's almost like, it almost feels like a satiny, velvety primer. Like, it's so good. It is so good. It just has like a skin-like appearance. They have several different shades. I have it in 2 colors. I love it. I love it so much. So I think that if you're looking for a beautiful, like satin finished bronzer, this is the way to go. I do feel like it sort of had mixed reviews, but I thought it was gorgeous. I thought it blended beautifully. So it's definitely an A++ for me. Another standout from the brand, let me tell you, this brand has just been killing it this year. Lady Gaga did an amazing job with the House Labs Triclone Skin Foundation. Now, I did not get this when it launched. I ended up getting a sample and I tried it and I fell in love with it, and I eventually went and got it, but I did not get it right away. But it is beautiful. It is definitely now in my top 3 foundations. I just think that there's something about the blendability of this, about the finish of it. I found a color that works really well for me. It is a little bit more on the glowy side, so I find that I definitely need to like powder right here just for longevity's sake. Not so it doesn't like move, but just so that by the end of the day, I'm not like super glossy on my face. So I do think that, in my opinion, this probably works best for like normal, maybe normal leaning dry skin. I don't know if the oiliest of skin types would like this unless you are a super powder wearer. And if you are, you could probably just get away with it just fine. But she's lovely. I love the bottle of this as well. Let me tell you, I don't have any concealers in here this year. I don't have any concealers. I tried to use up what I had, and I was just talking in my live about the couple that I did buy this year. I really think if the brand comes out with a concealer this year, which I wouldn't be surprised if they do, I would definitely get it. So I'm gonna be very curious to see what the brand brings out, but I have three of the products in my top favorites are from House Labs this year, so way to go. Okay, this was a hard one. This was a hard one to pick, but I had to just pick one of Lisa's new shades of lipstick. And I had to go for the one that just brought me the most joy when I was wearing it. And this is Strawberry Shock. So this is, of course, an insanely saturated color. I really love both this and Skyscraper Rose. I mean, I love all of my Lisa lipsticks, but there was just something about wearing this one in the summer with a bit of a tan and just feeling like it's just so enlivening on the face. I really felt like this and a little bit of mascara and I could have been good to go at all times. There was just never a moment where this wasn't perfect. And I love it. It has a bit of a retro vibe to me that I really love, but it's chic. It's fun. I just love it. So I really had a hard time picking just one. I love the insanely saturated formula. For me, I actually like it even more than the True Velvet just because it's ever so slightly more sheeny. It's still on the matte side of satin, but it just has a smidge more like life to it. So I really enjoy that. And of course the shades are beautiful. So this is the pick, but I love all of my Lisa lipsticks, but this is the one that stood out to me this year. another foundation. I don't know who I am having two foundations in my favorites, but like I said, I just had to put in what stood out to me this year, and this is the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation. So this has filled a void in my collection that I didn't think I needed filled because I've never enjoyed it, and that's something that's higher coverage. This, for me, this is the most high coverage foundation that I have. And for those of you that have tried this, you'll know it's not exactly like super high coverage, but this is definitely like up there with how high coverage it is. For me, the thing that I think makes it still enjoyable is how skin-like it is. It's beautifully satin. It has that like velvety finish to it. I usually do shear it out a bit, or maybe use it with like a damp beauty sponge to sort of like give a little less coverage, because I don't always want high coverage, but it's nice to have the opportunity to have a medium to full coverage when I want it. And I do find that this is so quick and easy to use because I pop it on and I usually don't feel like I need concealer. Like maybe I'll put a dot here and here just where I get the most deep in my like little like dark corners. That's about it. So I love the finish of this. I have the shade Fiji. By the way, if you're curious, I also wear the shade 21C Light Medium Neutral in the House Labs. Maybe I should have mentioned that. So I think I love both of these because this has a little bit more glow. It is a little bit more sheer. It's, you know, again, more of that like serum consistency. And this one, I think, has more coverage than the House Labs, and it has more of like a velvet finish to it as opposed to, you know, that like serum-y, glowy finish. So I love them both. I've used both of them very consistently and been happy with them all the time. And this year I bought 3 new foundations, and I actually really enjoyed them all. I was talking about it in the live that I did the other night. The other one I just didn't put in here because, again, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that I reached for time and time again. Okay, let's talk single shadows, y'all. I bought a decent amount of single shadows this year. I didn't actually go too crazy. I think I bought way more in the previous year. But the ones that really stood out to me, and these ones I actually didn't purchase, they were gifted to me, but definitely this year, the Divina Cosmetics Phantom Orbs collection is where it was at for me. Just because I really think that these are a sleeper. Now, I'm telling you, if you have not tried these yet, you definitely need to check them out. I talked a lot about Water Mist. This is in the Velvet formula, which is that beautiful, like satin in the pan. They're sleepers, and then you put them on the face and it's like, wow, amazing. I think that these ones, which I think were the sparkly multi-chromes, ooh, I can't remember, but these 3 here are, I mean, you know that they're gonna blow your socks off, but I think it's like not until you get them on your eyes that you're like, oh my gosh, because it's like the shadow itself has shift, the sparkle has shift, it's like shift on shift on shift. There's so much shift, I don't even know what to do. And this was actually my favorite one, Midnight Nova. And if you know me, I'm not usually a blue or a purple person, but this is just so stunning on the eyes. So I definitely recommend, if I had to pick 2 out of here, it would be Water Mist and Midnight Nova, just because those are the 2 that I just had so much fun with. But they are gorgeous. You know that I love Divina Cosmetics, and I will say, even if these weren't gifted to me by the brand, I would have purchased them. I don't know if I would have purchased all the colors. See, the thing is I probably wouldn't have gotten Midnight Nova because it's a blue purple, and that's not normally my wheelhouse, but I'm so grateful to the brand for sending them to me because it's definitely become a favorite in my collection and helped me lean a little bit more into the cooler toned colors. So I'm really enjoying them. Thank you so much to the brand. You really need to check them out. Again, I'll have it linked down below. Okay, let's talk scent. I am not going to stick on this one for a really long time, but I am, of course, going to mention by Rosie Jane's Dulce. So this is a vanilla cocoa perfume, and it is delicious. If you love a gourmand, you are going to love this one. If you love a vanilla, ooh, it just smells so good. I do have to say, so the way that I found this was in that little vanilla sampler from Sephora. I really wanted to try it anyway, and then I saw that it was in the sampler, and I was like, well, that's the way to go. So the perfume oil was in the sampler. I did end up also getting the eau de parfum. Just, you know, it's just a little bit more easy to use, sprayable. If you're someone that likes to like spray on your clothes, like sometimes I'll like spray on my scarf just so I have like a cozy moment. You can't really do that with an oil roller ball. There's just something cozy-er about the oil, and I think it's just, you know, the nature of an oil fragrance. It's going to last a little bit longer. It just has even maybe more like warmth to it. They both smell the same. There's just something about the vibe of this. I'm not even sure what I'm saying, but I do love to layer the 2. This definitely helps this like stay a bit longer. This one actually has pretty good longevity on the skin, the Dulce Eau de Parfum. The by Rosie Jane EDPs don't always have the longest range. I find that with like clean fragrance, if you will, but there's something about that one that it just like stays on the skin longer. I find that for the price, the brand is actually like really pretty cost effective in my opinion. So I didn't find it a big deal to have to get the perfume oil and then to get the eau de parfum just so that I have the option. It wasn't a huge thing for me. I think that both of these things together were still less than a lot of like higher end brands eau de parfums. So I love them both. It's not a need to have both. But I went a little extra and I needed to get both. So I did notice, by the way, right now that a couple of my favorites, for sure the Dolce and James, were discounted on the Sephora site. So I'm wondering if they are not going to be carrying the oils. The EDPs weren't, but the oils were on discount. So you might want to check that out. I'll make sure to have it linked down below. I love them. All right. This is the year of falling in love with things that I never thought I would fall in love with. I just talked about trying out the Midnight Nova shade from Divina, and when BK Beauty was nice enough to send over their core extension set of brushes, this was the one. This was the one that stood out to me the most, and I never would have picked it up because I'm just like, I don't need a bigger bronzer brush. This is the 111. This is the dense bronzer brush. This to me is a big brush. This to me is a big brush. But I love it. I love it for bronzer. It's what I use today for my bronzer, and there's just something about the amount of density that this has. The size is bigger, but it's not so big that I still don't get control. I'm just not a fan of really big brushes that end up giving you like a more like muddied look because it gets everywhere. So I really enjoy this. Thank you so much to the brand. I enjoyed a lot of the brushes in that core extension line. If you haven't seen my video on that, I did a full review comparing other brushes from the line. Like, I definitely felt like it was a thorough review, but this is just the one. This is the one that stood out to me, and I think it was just the most exciting one, more so because I didn't expect to love it so much. So I will have it linked down below, and again with the video as well, in case you haven't checked it out and you're looking for some new brushes. All right, our final eyeshadow palette pick for my favorites of 2022 is the Nomad Cosmetics Hudson Valley palette. Y'all, this palette, the color story is just so divine. The mattes are gorgeous. The shimmers are beautiful, but I really do think that it is the Nomad Cosmetics matte formula, which really sets this company apart. They're just beautiful. I have really loved all of the looks that I have come up with this palette. It is so much fun. And I have to be honest, when I was going through my purchases of the year, right away when I saw Paradise Islands, I was like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun with that palette. I felt like it was pretty balanced as far as like lights and deeps. And I was like, that was really a standout because I felt like it gave us a little bit of a pastel vibe, but it wasn't too chalky. That was gonna be the one that I put in. And then I was like, nope, I have to give it. So like Nomad bumped itself out. So this is definitely, for me, it's just more of a color story that I lean into. And I've had so much fun with this one. The color story is just stunning. So congrats to Nomad on this beautiful palette. It's a fun one. I'm gonna put her away for a little bit to let some other palettes shine, but I've really enjoyed it. All right, my mascara pick for the year is the Tower 28 Make Waves mascara. I love this mascara. I enjoyed it the first time I used it, and then I was just talking in my live the other night when I saw that they said, oh, what you need to do is for your first coat, you go through with like the scoop side, like the spoon, and you push it through your lashes that way, and then you flip it over so that you have the hillside, and then you go through. So there's something about doing that that really does help elevate the lashes even more. I just find that I get a really good amount of definition and length and volume. It's sort of like all the things for me. It lasts throughout the day. I don't have any flaking. I don't have any smudging. It's been a beautiful one for me. I do curl my lashes, so I can't say like the curlability of this. I don't necessarily think that that's where it lives. Like, that's not what's stunning about this. It's just a beautiful formula, and I enjoy the brush. So this is the one for me this year. I was very tempted to buy a backup. I was very tempted to buy a backup on Black Friday, and I was like, just stop. You have other mascaras that you need to use in your collection, but I know that I'll go back to this one once I've used a couple of those. Okay, we have really run through these. I'm probably talking very fast. I think that that's what's going on today. But I have my very last pick of the year, and honestly, I was like, I don't have a blush in here. How did that happen? And I don't think that I bought a lot of blush this year just because I have so much, but this is one that I gave into. I saw my friend Kara from Beauty and the Frizz do her recommendations video for the Sephora sale, and I bought it, and I'm so, so glad. This is the RMS Hydra Redimension Hydra Powder Blush. Yes, I got the shade Maiden's Blush. I love this so much. For me, it is the tone that just really like sets it apart. It's this beautiful, like cinnamony rose tone. I love it. I can't put it down. I've really had to like force myself to use other colors. Like, I think it would have been beautiful today. I actually used Pillow Talk from from Charlotte Tilbury today, but I was like, oh, I should pull that one out. This to me reminds me of the finish of the original ambient blushes from Hourglass. It's got that beautiful glow, like it just looks like very healthy skin. It just looks like very healthy skin. I love it. It's got a little extra sheen, but it's not sparkly. It doesn't look like, oh my gosh, I just put a highlighter over my blush. It's not like that. I think that I had told everyone when I did my order that this one was sold out. And so I got my second pick, and I did end up one, I just left it in the box and ended up taking it back because I was like, I don't really need any more blush right now. And the one that I got, hopefully you can see that there. The other one that I got maybe was Sangria. And I sort of regret that, but I do have another color that's very similar to that, and I'm really trying to be good. But if I got to the point where I needed to pick up another glowy blush, like heaven forbid something break, or if I just feel like something's way past its prime, I would definitely consider picking up another one of these. They are beautiful. Okay, I think I cranked through that pretty quickly. I feel like I'm always afraid that after the fact, I'm gonna end up having something that I'm like, oh, how did I not put that in there? But these, as I was going through, were just the ones that like immediately like sparked joy in my heart and the ones that I thought of. So there were probably other products that I loved. I mean, right off the bat, I was like, oh, I didn't talk about my Sydney Grace cream shadows. But honestly, you all know that I love my Sydney Grace cream shadows, and did I get any new shades this year? I'm not sure. But those ones, it's things like that where it's like, you all know that I love them and I use them a lot. These are just like the new things that like stuck out to me as far as like, oh yes, I'm so glad to have that in my collection now. So I hope that you've enjoyed. I would love to know what sparked joy for your makeup lover's heart. Go ahead and drop it down in the comments. I always like getting like inspiration and things to put on my wish list from the things that you all say. Thank you so much to all of you who have been here through the year, supporting my channel, hanging out, talking beauty with me, talking non-beauty with me, just talking to me. But it really has been a blast, and I'm looking forward to 2023 with you. I really do appreciate you taking some time out of your day to spend it with me, and I will see you really soon.